Hey everyone, I just want to make a really quick, hopefully not too long video today talking about an issue that I saw come up on my Facebook feed this morning. Again, if you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen I've tweeted about this already. And the thing I want to talk about, as you might have guessed from the title, is Kat Von D and her pregnancy announcement, but more specifically, the big problem I have with it. So, she posted this on Instagram and Facebook about 12 hours ago, and I don't know how many followers she has on Instagram, but currently on Facebook, she has about 12 million people following her. So this is going out to a huge number of people and influencing a hell of a lot of people, which is why I felt like it was an important one to talk about. Normally, when a celebrity announces they're pregnant, I couldn't really care less. And I don't really know that much about Kat Von D other than she's a tattoo artist and she has a makeup line. I don't know much else. I'm not really into this whole celebrity thing. I'm not very good at it. So when this little statement came up on my newsfeed on Facebook, I skimmed over it at first, and I'll be honest, I didn't read every word, and I was like, oh, I see her point. She has a really good point here. She talks about things like, I'll tell you what, I'll read you out the bits that I picked up on at first, and we can talk through it. So she says, I knew the minute we announced our pregnancy that we would be bombarded with some unsolicited advice. Some good and some questionable, unsolicited nonetheless. I was also prepared for the backlash and criticism we would get if we decided to be open about our personal approach to our pregnancy. Okay, so at this point I'm like, great, she's been so honest, like, as someone, you know, a public figure in the public eye, she realizes that a lot of people are going to take an interest in her life, her pregnancy, but ultimately she's saying, you know, it's her choice, her body, her rules, and I completely support that. I'm like, you know what, you do what you want, like, don't listen to all these people who can be shouting at you. This is cool. She says, my own father flipped out on me when I told him we decided to ditch our doctor and go with a midwife instead. And I'm like, okay, maybe not the best choice, but I'm sure she has her reasons. But again, you know, her body, her pregnancy, I'm sure she's calculated the risks. She maybe knows what she's doing, and she probably knows a bit more about pregnancy than me because I've never been pregnant. So, you know, let her do her thing. If you don't know what it's like to have people around you who think you are ridiculous, try being openly vegan. I didn't think being vegan was a ridiculous thing, but okay. I guess she probably has some critics maybe, but you know, whatever. That seems weird. And if you don't know what it's like to have the entire world openly criticize, judge, throw uninformed opinions and curse you, try being a pregnant vegan. And I was like, okay, so I kind of get this, you know, like I have a lot of comments on YouTube from people who, you know, they criticize me, they criticize all these aspects of my life, and, you know, they don't know me, they don't know my personal circumstances, so I get this, and then I skip forward a bit, and blah, 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 and I read this bit where she says, this is my body, this is our child, and this is our pregnancy journey. I was like, yes, this is great. She's like, feeling empowered, this is brilliant. It is her body, it is their child, it is their journey. No one else should have an influence over it, right? I was thinking, like, this is great. Why is there so much negativity about this? You know, she says, feel free to follow me on here if you like what I'm about, whether it's tattooing, lipstick, animal rights, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't dig a certain something about what I post, I kindly ask that you press the unfollow button and move the F on. And I was like, yeah, I can get behind this too. And I was like, I still don't understand what people are so mad about. And then I went back and read it again. In the paragraph about, you know, the entire world openly criticizing, judging, and whatever, she says, try being a pregnant vegan having a natural drug-free home birth in water with a midwife and doula who has the intention of raising a vegan child without vaccinations. And that's what it is. I don't give a damn that you're a pregnant vegan. You know, as long as you can stay healthy and make sure you and the baby are getting enough nutrients, fine by me. I don't give a damn that you're having a natural, drug-free home birth in water. If you think you can do it, good for you. I don't care that you've got a midwife and doula and you're not in a hospital. Again, if you've assessed the risks, if you think you can do it, good for you. Who has the intention of raising a vegan child, again, as long as your child isn't malnourished, as long as they're getting a proper diet that gives them all the nutrients and stuff they need, as long as you're willing to work with doctors to make sure that your child's health is, you know, there, I don't have a problem with that. Without vaccinations is what I have the biggest problem with, because that is not a choice that's just about you and your child. That choice not to vaccinate your child endangers so many other children and people that your child comes into contact with. She says, my point being, I already know what it's like to make life choices that are not the same as the majority, so your negative comments are not going to influence my choices. Actual research and educating myself will, which I am diligently doing. But I don't think she can have researched and educated herself on the point of vaccinations. Like, not fully, because this is a decision made out of ignorance. It has to be. You can't be that cruel as to want to endanger other people's children. I'm sure a lot of my viewers already know this and understand this, but the way vaccinations work is an inactive kind of strain of a virus or bacteria or whatever is injected into the body, and it's injected in a way that it's not going to harm you, it's not going to make you ill, but it's going to teach your own immune system how to recognize that virus, that disease, that whatever. It's going to teach your body how to recognize that and how to fight it off, which means if you do come into contact with someone who's ill, you're not going to get sick from it. Your body's going to know how to fight it off straight away, probably before you've even had the chance to pass it on to anyone else. So basically, it makes you immune in the sense that you're not going to get ill and die from that disease, and you're probably not going to pass it on to anyone else. That's why vaccination is important. However, there are people who can't be vaccinated because they have problems with their own immune system. Maybe their immune system doesn't know how to produce the right antibodies to fight off vaccines, never mind, other diseases, so it can't do anything to them. But in these cases, regular, healthy people without an compromised immune system, those people being vaccinated help those with autoimmune problems, people with autoimmune diseases or who are immunosuppressed or whatever. Those people are at a higher risk of danger if they come into contact with certain diseases. But they can be protected by other people being vaccinated. If the majority of people are vaccinated, then they're not going to be getting the illness, they're not going to be spreading the illness to the people who have these compromised immune systems. It's called herd immunity, and it's really, really important. So while Kat here might want to take the risk of her child getting life-threatening diseases because she doesn't like the idea of vaccines, it's not fair that she gets to play God over other children's lives. If a child or even an adult has a compromised immune system and comes into contact with your unvaccinated child who could very easily be carrying that disease, your child could potentially be killing another person because you chose not to vaccinate. So for all I agree with Kat about, her being the one in control of her body and her pregnancy and her child, I think it's irresponsible not to vaccinate because this isn't a decision that just affects you and your child. This is a decision that affects the entire population. This is a decision that affects other children and adults who are already ill. This is a decision that puts other people in danger. And so now, I can see where the outrage is coming from. Now, I find this incredibly irresponsible. And for someone with 12 million followers to be promoting not vaccinating, I think is irresponsible, I think it's wrong, and I think it's incredibly dangerous. And that's why I want to talk about this a little bit today. I know this has been a shorter video than normal, but I kind of want to pass this on to you and say, what do you guys think about this? Do you think we should all just leave her alone and let her make her own choices? Or do you think it's important that people who understand the issue and understand how dangerous it is do reach out to her and say, no, you're making a mistake by not vaccinating. Make all the other decisions you want, but vaccinating affects so much more than just you and your child. Like, do you think it's important, or do you think we should just kind of be silently angry but still keep it to ourselves? I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comments, so please let me know what you think. The shout out from yesterday's video goes to Candyland Talk Show, who says, my favourite breed is pit bulls because they're so sweet, but they have a bad name because of their history and what people have done. I also love black pugs. But I have a red-nosed pitty girl. She's so smart, affectionate like a human, loyal, really good with kids, and she's got so much personality. She's possibly more clumsy than I am. That is just like Kyra. Oh my goodness though, these doggies are so perfect. And I love this comment because there are so many misconceptions about pit bull type dogs, and I think the important thing to get across is that pit bulls aren't just one type of dog. There's so many different kinds. There are American pit bulls, but there are also different types of bull terrier, and there's a Staffordshire bull terrier, American bull terrier, and so on. And there are lots and lots of different kinds who tend to just get lumped under pit bull and given a bad name. The thing is that these breeds of dogs do tend to have quite large teeth, and they are very, very muscular. They have a high percentage of muscle compared to, their body size, so they do look quite tough. And it's not fair that they get this bad reputation just because a few people have seen them in the past and thought, oh, they're pretty strong, I'll train them to fight. That's not fair. it's something that's worth repeating, that it's never the breed and always the owner that determines how a dog turns out. If you mistreat a dog, of course they're probably going to be scared and over-aggressive. If you train a dog to be aggressive, they're going to be aggressive. But train a dog well and they're going to be loving and loyal and kind. Kyra, as a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, is the most patient, sweet girl. In the past, 2 and a bit months, we've heard her bark once. She's been around children, she's been around other animals, she's been around other dogs who have been aggressive and barking towards her, and she's just turned away from it because she knows not to respond to that. So it's all about how you treat a dog, how you train a dog, and never just the breed. I have so much love for Staffies and just all types of dog in general. I don't think it's fair that some of them get these bad reputations for things that people have done. So I thought this comment was worth a little shout out, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. If you want to shout out in my next video, leave me a comment, let me know if you would or if you have vaccinated your own children and why. I know it's a pretty big, vague question, but there you go for it. But for now, thank you for watching today, thank you for taking part in this discussion, I can't say that word, but I love you guys and I appreciate you so much. I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching today. If you liked this, you can see more from me on the Here and How podcast, a weekly science podcast I co-host. I also have merch available if anyone is interested and wants to check it out. But for now, thank you so much to everyone watching, and an even bigger thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon this month. A special thank you goes out to Gambit and his Chauffeur, Deshauwn, Mark Dauner, Biased Lemmings, Christian Berg, Religion is BS, Rachel B. Royer, Matthew Meinema, Jaylee Moore, Sir Michael Moore, Jadeon Sheppard, Greg Clyde, Pixelated Skeptic, and Tate D. Gibbs. You're all amazing, and to everyone mentioned on this end screen and down in the description below, I love you guys so much. Thank you.